Welcome to episode number 33 of the Organizations Win Championships podcast. Dan Bernstein, Jason Bernstein, James Jackson, all here. This is our Scottie Pippen episode. Our Larry
already.
Bird, our 33. So here we are, and any other 33s I've left out, I apologize because I don't know numbers. That's his responsibility. And we are at the conclusion of the Vegas Summer League. The Bulls not reaching the playoffs, but what did they finish? 3-2. And had some solid performances. So we're going to break that down. We're going to take a look at the roster, and we're also going to spend some time talking about what we're learning, more than what my partner is learning also, about the future of a very popular current Chicago Bull who remains in abeyance when it comes to next year. But what we learned today from NBA PR is that the Summer League MVP is the Rockets rookie Cam Whitmore. I didn't see that coming, I will tell you that.
I don't think many of us did, especially with all the star power at the top of the draft. However, with Scoot Henderson getting hurt and teammate Amen Thompson getting hurt, it just so happened that he started cooking everybody. And granted, he is playing a lot of guys that aren't going to be impactful NBA players, as is everybody in the Summer League, but good for him, I guess. And he fell in the draft. Many people thought he would be a top 10 pick. Some people also even had the Rockets taking him at 4. And he ended up, and that would have been a reach, but he ended up going 20th overall. And he proved why he shouldn't have slid in the draft.
So let's get your
in the
thoughts.
Summer League he proved. In the Summer League he proved.
Correct. I want to get your thoughts on the all-league first team and the all-league second team. The first team backcourt is Keontae George of the Jazz and Sam Merrill of the Cavs.
Keontae George is going to be a good player. Sam Merrill is a two-way bench G League guy. He's just, I mean, he'll be fine in the Summer League, but not in the NBA.
But you think George legit?
Oh, yeah, first-round pick.
I know, but their first-round picks were bad.
Yeah, I've always thought Keontae George would be a good player. I thought at the beginning of the college basketball season, I thought he was going to be like a top 5 pick.
Front court, Orlando Robinson of the Heat, Hunter Tyson of the Nuggets, and Whitmore.
I don't really know the other two names very well.
You don't?
No.
For shame.
Okay, fine.
Maybe, yeah,
sure.
Then you'll see. Then don't look them up. Don't look up their colleges because you'll see them.
I won't write. But they're not on the active NBA roster, though. I don't think.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, for the second team, there are 6 names. You say, well, how can that be? Well, there was a tie in the voting totals between 2 of the backcourt selections.
Who votes for this stuff?
I think it's media. I'm pretty sure it's the assembled media, the beat media who are there.
I'm a Heisman voter. I'm an NBA MVP voter. I vote on the All NBA Summer Team.
Hey, man, it's
yeah, I know it's a Charlie Brown I got a rock thing. Still,
no, I am a Heisman voter, and I get the sense you're shading me.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, why?
Because you're lame.
Why am I lame? My vote has not been outside the mainstream at all. I'm not. I don't make a thing out of it. I don't make it about myself. I always try to find the person who is most deserving has earned it most.
Correct. But go ahead with the second team and the tied backcourt, whatever.
All right. There's 3 backcourt names: Max Christie of the Lakers, Xavier Moon from the Clippers, and the Bulls. It still says Chicago Bulls, even though he's not full-fledgedly on the roster. The Windy City Bulls, Javon Freeman Liberty.
Yeah, we're going to have more discussions about him. He's a damn good player. Yeah. I don't know if he's NBA ready, but if you were to ask me if I would rather have JFL or Carlik Jones, I think Javon Freeman Liberty has a better chance of being a legitimate NBA player. I think he's young, and he did go to college for all 4 years, but he's only 23, 24, so I think he can be a contributor at some point in his career. I just think Carlik Jones is so limited by his size, while Javon Freeman Liberty is 6'4". He's strong. He's not crazy athletic, but he's quick enough. He's not a great defender, but he's fine. But he can score, and he can score on all three levels. I think he's a good player.
All right. Any thoughts on Christie and or Moon?
Xavier Christie was a great high school player in Illinois. I think he went to Rolling
You mean
Meadows.
Max Christie, unless you've just cross-pollinated the players.
Did I say Chris Christie? Or what
you
did
said
I
Xavier
say?
Christie. Chris Christie. Now, if we're scouting Chris Christie, I would say there's severe mobility issues and conditioning issues. Now, picturing that is awesome. Get in shape, man, for the love of God.
I've had a long day. But Max
now that would be a thing. Oops, we drafted the wrong guy. Who'd you draft? I don't know.
Max Christie was a really good high school player in Illinois. He I think he went to Rolling Meadows. His brother is there now. He can shoot. And I just remember the only thing he went viral for last year was when he did an interview before the season and they just cut the top of his head off and it looked exactly like Kobe. Like the video, the top of his head was just not there. I don't.
Oh, okay. They didn't literally cut the top of his head off.
Correct.
Okay, because that would have been a bigger story.
Yeah, I don't think that would have been great. And Xavier Moon, I just remember in the winter showcase against the Bulls, the Windy City Bulls, when he was on the Clippers G League team, he had the last point in the Elam ending to win it, and I just remember
that
he didn't miss. So yeah, he's always been able to score a little bit.
Your front court for the 2K24 All Summer League second team for the NBA. The saga of Imani Bates continues. He of the Cavaliers, Jabari Smith Jr. of the Rockets, and Brooklyn's Jalen Wilson.
Yeah. The who's the first name you said again?
Imani Bates.
Bates. I don't know. I don't know. He's so skinny. He's so frail. And apparently somebody asked him who do you look up to in the NBA? He said Ja Morant.
No, he didn't say Dylan Brooks.
He's also had gun charges.
I know. That's probably a bad answer.
And he went to Memphis for a year. Yeah. So
not great. And Jabari Smith Jr., that's the one who went up. Isn't he the guy that went up to LeBron and said, "Hey, you play with my dad"?
Yeah. Come on. He's a third overall pick last year. He was the Auburn guy. Last year I thought he was going to go number 1. I was wrong because Boncaro was really good, but I like Jabari Smith a lot. I think he could be really good. And
Jalen Wilson.
Don't know that much about him. I know the name. I don't think I know the college, but I know the name.
Didn't ask. So the numbers for Javon Freeman Liberty. This is a 6'4" guard with a wingspan that's listed at 6'9". He averaged 21.2 points in 5 games, 4.4 assists, 4.6 rebounds, and a block on 49.3% shooting from the field that included 46.2 from 3.
That's damn good.
Yep, and 77.4 on free throws.
Which is fine.
I'm looking at this roster right now, and I know that anybody could sign him. The Bulls know him better. The Bulls are more committed and have invested more in his development.
Chicago kid, went to Whitney Young.
Went to DePaul.
So it makes sense. I just remember when I was at a DePaul game, I think it was DePaul and Seton Hall, AK and Mark Eversley showed up. And they were sitting about 25 feet away from me. And I shook Eversley's hand, but I don't think AK looked serious. And I don't know if he was really scouting because I know he went to Seton Hall, but it was very, I think that, I think Freeman Liberty was hurt that game. But
that's the game where you said that you could see his phone from where you were sitting and that he was scrolling Twitter most of the time.
Oh, the entire time. Yeah. That was over a year ago, but being a Chicago kid matters to the Bulls. Beverly, Freeman Liberty, maybe a little bit, and the guy that we're going to get to soon.
I don't know how much it matters. I do know that for a long time, the Bulls administration didn't want Chicago kids because they were worried about local distraction. And even though they had Randy Brown on the team for the championships, they got over it in a hurry when Jerry Krause drafted Eddie Curry, because that was always a thing with him. And obviously the Derrick Rose experience made it clear that wasn't, they didn't look at that as a headwind anymore. I always thought it was kind of silly for them to care about it as a negative, but it certainly doesn't hurt. It certainly could help. And I would have no problem if the Bulls right now said Javon Freeman Liberty has earned a two-way deal, because if it came down, in fact, if I had to, let me ask you.
I already said I'd rather take him in Car League.
You would, for sure.
Oh yeah, he's better. And maybe Carly Jones is a better G League guy, but he's also the one that gets all the opportunities for that team just because he's the main guy on that team. He's a G League scorer. But if you're looking at who would be the better NBA player, I don't even think it's a question. The other guy's 6'4", and with a 6'9" wingspan, and can shoot and dribble. And he works hard too. I remember going to that G League game. He was on the floor first. And he's a good player.
So it looks like at this point, Derrick Jones Jr. is going to be gone.
Yeah.
And
that's why they took Phillips.
And then Phillips will end up being his replacement, even though
he was okay in the last few games, right?
He's all right. I don't think we should just say that blithely. He's not ready to step in and perform at the level Derrick Jones Jr. did. That's a downgrade. That right away, if you're a win now team, if you're trying to win 45 games, that's a distinct downgrade. If you're developing him and saying that a few years from now he's going to be better than Derrick Jones Jr., he gave them some minutes at the 5 with small lineups.
Good.
And he gave, when they were out and running against teams, he was doing a lot. He even hit some threes when unguarded. So I don't think I think we're giving them a lot of credit to say they're swapping out a really, really raw second round pick for a pro. Derrick Jones is going to be on an NBA roster next year.
Yeah, for sure.
And he'll play. So that I think is not a significant downgrade, but it's a downgrade. I don't know what's going on with Javonte Green.
I mean, that knee, was it knee or hip? Was it his knee? Yeah, that knee injury was bad.
Apparently.
And he wasn't the same when he came back from that for those few games. Who knows? I'm rooting for him, obviously. But I just don't see where he fits in. This team is so messed up in so many ways. I just think the thing that's clogging it all is DeMar DeRozan.
Well, that can be a theme of every episode.
I don't think they're going to make it deal anybody huge. I'd rather them deal DeRozan, but if they get I would deal Levine if you got the right offer. But they're here we go, pessimistic Jason.
No, I'm not. That's you again.
I was going to say pessimistic Jason is back.
We're going to have to make a pledge at the beginning of every episode that you're not going to. You always death spiral.
I know, because they blow.
But we've got other things we can talk. We don't always have to confront every apocalyptic Bulls reality, because otherwise we're going to be miserable. And we can't live our lives being miserable. That's your life lesson for today. We have to compartmentalize these things. I think a lot of this is baked in. We know where the Bulls are, what they're not. So until this management regime decides it's going to do something major, we have to presume that this is what we've got.
Yeah, that sucks.
Well, it's your fault for growing up a Bulls
My
fan.
fault.
Yes.
You chose to have a kid here.
But where else am I going to have one? This is where I live.
That's what I mean. So, your fault for being a Bulls fan. What? Would you rather say, I'm a Warriors fan? No.
Would you?
No. They're annoying. No, I live here.
Here's it. Just embrace it and
embrace the suckatrana thing.
Well, yeah, but just
embrace the suck.
Just know that when it does get good, you'll be rewarded.
Why did I say suckatron?
Yeah,
What am I doing today?
that's
That might
the
get cut.
that's the robot they didn't tell anybody about. They kept that
The
one for
Bulls
themselves.
new AI suckatron. that could be that could be used in a multitude of ways. All
Yeah,
right.
I think I already did.
Whoa!
No, I'm just saying. I think I already that was
You
the
already
point
used the
I
suckatron?
was trying to make. You still haven't seen the movie Sleeper, have you?
No, I
You
don't think
haven't. With the
the Woody
Orgasmatron?
Allen. Oh,
Yeah. So that's what I
this is
thought
a
you were.
basketball podcast. Let's
No, I
stop.
know, but that's what I thought that you were alluding to. But I don't know what movies you've seen or haven't seen at this point. All
RoboCop.
right, so I think we might be burying the lead here, but you got some information advancing the story a bit about a really popular Chicago Bull and what his future may or may not hold in Chicago.
Yeah. So I got some information. Well, we got some information that it is increasingly unlikely by the day almost that Ayo Dosunmu will not be back with the Chicago Bulls.
Wait, unlikely that he will be back.
Unlikely that he will be back. Correct. This is from sources close to him. I don't think he doesn't believe he will be back either. And we were hearing Toronto is interested and is a likely option. And yeah, I don't think that's anything out of the blue just because of what they've been doing with guards when it comes to re-signing Kobe White for 3 years immediately.
Yeah, they didn't wait on that.
And the same with John Carter. They signed him as soon as free agency started. And it shows that they weren't rushing to get an Ayo deal done. And theoretically, if they do anything with Freeman Liberty, if he's proven to them that he can be an NBA player, even a two-way, that takes up some space on a roster in the same position. I think the only thing they'd really be missing from him is his defensive presence. However, that's why you go out and get Javon Carter, because that's what he does. He defends and he shoots the three. So
well, it's still a success story, without a doubt. It's a cool thing for a second round pick. To
really happy for him. Yeah, and I mean, in some ways, I know a lot of Chicago is going to be pissed about it just because they love him. Chicago guy, went to Illinois, went to Morgan Park, and that's why they love Beverly too. But I'm honestly not partial to any of the guys that are from Chicago. I just want them to win basketball games. However, it seems to matter to a lot of Chicago fans, and I think a lot of people are going to be upset. However, I just think Javon Carter is probably a better basketball player.
He's a better player. I would also just say this, that if you're looking for the small possibility, the fact that he hasn't signed a contract and he hasn't signed an offer sheet yet, even if the Bulls
we know, yeah.
Right. Even if they said, go get a sheet, let's see what you cost and bring it back to us, and then we'll make a decision. Even if their intent is not to resign, and they say, and they hope because they like him that he does go out and find a nice deal. He hasn't yet.
What? Okay, say you're a team needing a defensive-minded guard, but just a second unit guy. What are you willing to pay per year for 2 years? Let's say 2 or 3 years.
$5 a year?
Seriously, that's it?
Where are you? What did Javon Carter get about that?
7.5, maybe
7.5.
You would pay him the same amount. I guess
doesn't that track for what he's done and what he's contributed.
I know, but Fred VanVleet is making what, 43, and Jaylen Brown could make $70 million if he signs his max extension. That the last year that he has with the Celtics, if he signs this max extension, is going to be close to $70 million, making it the richest NBA contract ever for a number 2.
Well, I mean, you asked me what I would pay, and I like guards who can shoot.
Right. I don't know what it was his rookie year. He was a much better shooter early in his rookie year than he was later this past year.
I don't know. It may be that he recognized the pressure was on once he knew, and once it got out, especially in the playoffs, that
people would get a hand in his face.
No, people aren't going to guard him.
I know. Yeah, Russell Westbrook treatment?
They were just daring him to shoot. Milwaukee was like, all right, you shoot every time. We'll go double other people. And I think that's kind of the problem when you're the mark. But you think at that point, if you're shooting 500 a day, that's something that can get better. But we'll see. That's obviously not going to make or break the Bulls this year as to whether or not they have him. But if this is just a success story and he ends up elsewhere, he's a terrific kid and he's got a nice family, and I hope he's happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think they're a pretty tight family, and so I wonder how far he'll go from Chicago. So we'll see what happens.
I think it's a fair thing to wonder. So that's where that stands as our look at the roster and the Bulls' immediate future. And with that is going to bring us to the OWC College Showdown.
Wow, it didn't take us very long this time.
Well, there's it's the middle of July.
Yeah.
So I provide 3 names of current NBA players currently listed on the NBA roster. And Jason tells me where they went to college. And then Jason finds 3 vintage players, and the definition of which is really expanding over time. He's had a few guys I haven't even heard of. But I know you've got a minimum criteria of quality that you're not scraping the bottom of the barrel for all-time bums. But you go first.
I haven't been doing all-time bums. I've been making sure they average at least 10 points a game.
Well, even so, like if you so that from like 1982, good luck. All right, fine.
No, it's over the career. All right. First off, we have former Kings and Celtics guard Tiny Archibald.
Nate Tiny Archibald.
Yeah.
That's one I should know and don't. Grambling.
No. University of Texas, El Paso, UTEP. Next, we have former Bucks wing Paul Pressey.
One of the first. Interesting you say wing, because he was a pioneering point forward.
It said shooting guard, small forward on the
thing. But that's at a time where it wasn't positionless basketball. He was a forward who would bring it up the court.
Okay,
Paul Pressey. Damn it. Washington.
Tulsa.
Okay.
And last but not least, we have journeyman wing Billy Owens.
Syracuse.
Yep.
Okay, 1 out of 3. I rescued that one. Yeah, he was a great college player. Should have been a better pro
as well.
He should have been a better pro. All right. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. We will start with Phoenix forward Ish Wainwright.
Villanova?
Baylor.
I think I knew that. That's bad.
Apparently didn't.
Go ahead.
Atlanta Hawks guard Seth Lundy.
Who?
Seth Lundy. The Seth Lundy.
I've heard of Ish Wainwright. I have no idea who this guy is.
Well, take a guess.
Hi. Boise State.
Penn State. This time, I love this time of year. You're not keeping up with your rosters. And New Orleans Pelicans guard Darian Sebrin.
All right, over 3. Never heard of him. They cannot be. These are all summer league players.
They're on the.
No,
they are. I look at the ESPN NBA roster.
This almost isn't fair. Because
I hear a lot of whining right now.
Ish Wainwright is fair.
I hear a lot of whining and complaining from somebody who prides himself on knowing
nobody
where
is
NBA
hurt.
players went to college.
Yeah, I don't think anybody could, unless they. That is garbage.
You're that guy. You're the guy.
I'm not that guy.
Then who's that guy if not you?
This guy went to South Carolina.
No, he went to NC State.
Close, but it.
Wow, when's the last time you went over 3?
I don't know if I have.
We may have. Wow, I think you get like the beer shower after that.
I cannot wait until all these teams cut everybody. Because they will.
Yeah, I've been waiting.
Because I think they just have. I think what they do is they put their summer league guys on ESPN.
You know what I think it is?
Does he have a
The
contract?
roster's the roster. I think it's like the 40-man in baseball, where you're going to have guys on the 40-man all throughout your organization. I think that the guys who are listed on that roster are guys who obviously have certain protections that their other summer league guys don't, whether it's two ways or others. Either way,
That was garbage.
For 3.
Yeah, what are the all-time records or whatever?
For 3.
What are the all-time records or whatever?
I don't want to talk about the all-time records.
Yeah, I know you don't.
I want to talk about for 3.
You went 1 for 3, bud.
It's an someone's has got to go.
This is what I have to deal with. And anything that ever humiliates me in the slightest, this is just what I have to deal with.
Yeah, well, we're playing golf on Sunday, if that makes you feel any better.
Yeah, I'm gonna cook you. Yeah, because you literally cannot swing without your knee buckling and you chunking it or thinning it.
Yeah, that's make fun of me because I'm hurt.
Yeah, I will, because you're old and hurt and bad at golf. It's fun.
I still like it.
Yeah, I don't know why, because you go, damn it, every time. And
no, I was good. I wasn't
at Aaron Hills. You were
at the end. I got a little mentally tired.
I was great that day.
You say you're great every day.
At golf? No, I don't. I'll tell you when I have my crappy days. I tell you every time.
What did you shoot yesterday?
89. It was bad front 9, good back 9.
All right. Well, we'll see. You'll give me a bunch of
47. It was a 47 and a 42. So
it's always better to finish with the lower score on the
correct.
On the back.
Correct, because I had an 89 a few weeks ago, and I was tracking for like an 83. But I went double, triple, and ended with an 89. So.
Yeah, nobody cares about your golf game. I brought it up, though. All right,
yeah,
that'll
you
do
brought
it.
it up, butt munch.
I brought it up. You're a butt munch. That has been
creative.
OWC.
I'm interrupting you because I don't like you.
Episode 33 is in the books,
Foley.
and we'll catch you next time.